forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. Although them again we will never, never, never trust. Them don't know what them do. They go to die while I'm sticking like glue. Blink skin grin while I'm plotting for you. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
It takes a lot of passion and a lot of hard work and a lot of faith.
Idolize the mission to survive and to stay alive in the face of opposition. Even when they come in, gunning, I stay in position. I don't know the mission since conception. Let's free the people from deception. If you're looking for the answers, then you gotta ask the question. And when I let go, my voice echoes through the ghetto. Sick of men trying to pull strings like Geppetto.
All right, LDBC. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. And guys, I can't even believe I got Sijara Eubanks. I got Sijara Eubanks right here on the screen right here, y'all. Sarge, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic today, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to have you, and I'm thankful that you just said, hey, yeah, I'll definitely come on. So I'm pretty much ecstatic because you gotta understand that I followed you all through the tough season, and it's like I'm talking to you, man. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for following and supporting.
Hey, awesome. I definitely support you. Hey, well, you look like you're feeling really well. You look like you feel good. Your skin tone is great. I mean, how have you been feeling lately?
I've been feeling good. Ever since, what happened at the finale of Tell 26. I took a little time off to rehydrate and recover. Since then, I've been taking real good care of my body and getting some expert advice and guidance from the UFC PI and do what I have to do. I'm training hard. I'm feeling good, and everything's on the up and up.
Wow, Sarge, I know I was feeling bad. I was feeling really bad for you because I know you came in as like one of the lowest seeds, and then you just kept beating people. Like when you came out and you gave I'm trying to remember who you gave. Oh, you gave the first one. You gave her a Kimura. And them things hurt like hell, but you gave her Kimura, and then you head kicked Deanna Bennett, and then you knocked her out because you were almost like the underdog in all those fights. I mean, could you kind of take us back through that because it was pretty exciting?
Yeah, I had a blast. I knew coming into the Tough House that I was a relative unknown. I knew you kind of had to be a jiu-jitsu fan to know who I was coming into the trials and into the filming process. But I thought that my experience as a grappler and the caliber of girls I had fought up until that point would have got me a better seed. So when they ranked me 12, I kind of was like almost to get not as a chip on my shoulder, but just like as an extra little nudge because I knew I was one of the better girls in the house going into the whole thing. So and I think it looked especially well to be able to get those finishes. Maia Stevenson in the first round was ranked 5. Deanna was ranked 3, I think, and then of course Roxanne in the finals was 1. So for as much as I took it as like kind of a chip on my shoulder, like I should have been ranked higher, I appreciate being ranked that low because I did get to show the world that I could beat girls who were perceived to be better than me.
Yeah, but your heart kind of took over, like the heart that you got, it took over because I know when you weighed in against Deanna Bennett, I was like, man, she looks really weak. But, as soon as they closed the cage, you turned into a completely different person. Like, you turned in from, okay, this woman who was getting on the scales, and I can tell that you were feeling really weak. And then it's like you just turned on this light switch, and bam, you just went in and you completely just dominated Deanna Bennett. And the head kick, that pretty much added to your highlight reel because it was, because you did it so fast, I wasn't even expecting you to throw a head kick, but then it landed. And then I was like, oh, man, can't count Sijara Eubanks out. Can't do it. And, so now how do you feel? Do you actually feel like you were, after you won those 2 fights or you won 3 and then you dominate Roxanne Modafferi, how did you think you would have done against Nico Montano?
I think I'd have done very well. We had a solid game plan going into the fight. I feel like I was coming in with Mark Henry, Jamal Patterson, Prado Almeida, a strong corner and a strong game plan. I'd been training hard for that fight. So I think I would have won the fight with Nico I was pretty confident about that. I didn't think it was going to go 5, but I thought I could have finished her within that 5-round fight. But we didn't get there, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, but I mean, Sarge, I watch fight. I mean, I watch a lot of fights. I'm a fan of pugilism, and I'm telling you, from when you fought Aspen Ladd and Caitlin Chikugian, when you got to the Tough House, I mean, it just seems like a lot of your skill sets just improved. From that time to when you fought, and Caitlin Chikugian and Aspen, they tough. They tough fighters. So I didn't understand either why you was seated so low, but I think that was actually like I don't know, it wasn't a curse. It was almost like a blessing to you that you were seated so low. But you came in, with that kind of resume and that kind of experience. So I was like, yeah, I was telling one of my buddies, we was watching, and I said, I think this Eubanks girl, I think she actually going to go the distance. Nah, man, she ain't going to go to, he was telling me, nah, she ain't going to go the distance. I said, I'm telling you, don't sleep on her. Don't sleep on her. Just because she had some losses early, I said, don't sleep on her. I said, that was in the past. This is now. Do you still keep up with the coaches of Tough?
Yeah, I'm out here now. I live in New York City now, and Eddie Alvarez was my coach on the green team. I was in Tough House, and through Eddie, he brought a bunch of guys in, so we all train together down in Toms River, New Jersey, a couple times a week. I'm with Mark Henry, Jamal Patterson, Ricardo Mato, Team Henzo Gracie. I train guys in the room like Frankie Edgar, Eddie Alvarez, Essen Barbosa. So I've got a killer floor here, so I'm really happy that I met those guys at the house because we definitely continue to build our coaching relationship.
Yeah, so would it actually be a safe assumption to say that, Coach Alvarez or Eddie Alvarez, he actually brought out some of the best in you doing this whole, doing the whole Tough tournament?
Yeah, I thought Eddie was a fantastic coach. And going into the Tough tournament, I knew I had to bring my best foot forward. Like you were saying earlier, girls like Aspen Ladd and Caitlin Chookagian, those were tough fights. Those were girls that had 6, 7, 8 fights before I fought them. I was only on my 2nd and 3rd fight. So, that experience factor, I did get to fight tough girls and not really explore all the tools that I had. And so, yeah, coming into the Tough House, I felt like I really kind of had my coming out party, per se. Bringing my very best Sarge forward, all my skill sets coming together in a situation where everybody was kind of watching. You know what I mean? So I think Eddie did a great job of sort of guiding me along that process.
Yeah, it just seemed like, he really, you and him connected because, it was a few of the people that was on your team that they were really turned off by him, but you were just like, you know what, I'm going to stick with Eddie, and it just seemed like, you and him, y'all were on the same, like, you guys were on the same level. You guys were on the same wavelength, and, I kind of saw how well that you were taking instruction from him, because he actually knows a lot of stuff, but I just think some people that was on the team, they kind of just didn't understand it because he's so blunt,
Yeah, it wasn't just a few people, just one. Everyone else is cool with Eddie. We had 8 girls on the team. 7 of us really enjoyed. Excuse me. 7 of us really enjoyed having Eddie as a coach, and I did. I clicked really well with Eddie. I clicked really well with Mark Henry and the other coaches he brought in. Anderson, Dave Espo, Cody. All Eddie's coaches were cool. They were all champion-minded individuals. They all wanted success, and they wanted to see us do our best. So I was able to click with Eddie and everybody else too.
Okay, wow. Well, that's good. I'm actually glad that you guys continue. You guys are continuing because I think you and Eddie Alvarez and Mark Henry. I think that's almost like an unstoppable force. I mean, you guys work really well together, and I was shocked that how well that you guys immediately just started working well together. So let me ask this. So now what have you guys kind of come up with to actually address the problem of trying to get down to 125 pounds safely?
Well, what I've done is I had to move here. I had to plug my phone in.
That's okay. You can move.
Yeah. Let me finish my interview. My partner's not home, so I'm on mommy duty. So
yeah, that's okay. Hey, you gonna put it in the camera? I'm gonna tell her stay in school. Girl, you are beautiful. Stay in school. That's okay. That's a beautiful girl.
Thank you. Hold that for me. She see me on the phone. She wanted to get on the phone too. All right. So to answer your question, addressing 125. So what I did was shortly after the fight card, the tough finale on December 1st, I went home, I gathered my things, took some time off, and I decided to go back out to Las Vegas and work with the UFC Performance Institute, which is something that I think was very beneficial to my career. But before that point, I had been walking around as like a bantamweight. I was fighting at 135, and I took the one fight with Chukagian at 125 a real long time ago. I was just a little heavy going into the house.
Oh, hold on 1 second. I think your sound cut out on me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I back?
Yeah, you back now.
Can you take me from me?
Magic.
I used the facilities afforded to me as a UFC fighter to really do what I had to do. So I spent 3 weeks in Vegas working with the UFC PI, the nutritionist Clint, Duncan, all the guys over there, Bo, Bobby, doing everything from physical therapy to strength and conditioning to nutrition to max tests and all kinds of stuff like that. So I was able to utilize all that data and get a nutrition plan and conditioning plan going forward.
This is the best part of the interview right here.
And get all that. I know, right? That's the realest. That's the real interview. So, and get all that together. So I've been feeling good. My weight's down. I'm lower than I was before the house. And so we're rocking and rolling on reframing my body to make that 125 cut a lot easier.
Okay. Yeah, because you look like, you look good. You look good. You look, definitely like you guys are doing some things. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a game plan, because I know I was almost like, man, I wonder if she could ever make the weight again without, having to make a hospital visit. But
Oh, no. Nah. It's nothing like that. Like, I've made 125 before. I have a small frame. I can make the 125-pound weight class. Like I said, I wasn't really walking around as a true flyweight. A lot of the flyweight division is new to the UFC, and a lot of girls were going up to fight bantamweight for an opportunity, and I was one of them. So, no more hospital trips, nothing crazy like that. I got the best team in my corner as far as nutrition and health, and we'll be rocking and rolling in the flyweight division in no time.
I believe you. I actually believe you.
You should.
Yeah, I believe you. Hey, so now, how did you feel, Sarge? You were sitting and a title fight came on, and did you watch the title fight between Nico and Roxanne, or were you just kind of like, I don't want to watch it?
Nah, I'm a soldier, man. Like, I'm not gonna go out like that. I have front row tickets. I sat right there and watched that fight. I wanted to see how the fight went. I wanted to see how who won. I wanted to know what the outcome of that was going to be. And on top of that, I think it would be somewhat cowardice not to show up that night. Like, I was out the hospital. I was still in Vegas. Like, it just felt right to go. So I went and I saw the fight. Wow.
Yeah. So now, what was the first thought that came into your mind?
When what?
When the end of the fight came, and Roxanne and Nico, they had that brawl, and then you saw Nico's hands raised. What was going through your mind at that exact moment?
It's kind of it's bittersweet. You feel like it's a moment that you had dreamt of and worked towards, and it's something that I've been working for the last 10 years of my martial arts career. I've been, making sacrifices and training hard, and I felt like all of the ups and downs of my career up to that point had come to what I had most desired, which was a UFC belt and a UFC title shot. And when it didn't happen, it sucks, and there's no other way around it. Like, it's not a good feeling. But at the same time, this is what I want to do. This is my passion, and this is my goal in life. So you get back up and you try again. So I got that close. I know what it's like. It hurt to watch the belt go by and not even be able to fight for it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I'll get back to that title shot again, and I'll make the weight in a healthy manner, and I'll flyweight, and I'm gonna dominate the division as I continue to grow as a fighter.
Hey, well, that's good. That's good, and I definitely. It's almost like when you talk, it's like people kind of have to listen, because you're speaking some facts and you're dropping a lot of nuggets, in this whole thing. So now, what is the confidence like? Are the UFC pretty confident too that you'll be able to do everything and get back there safely?
Well, me and the UFC, we talk all the time. My manager, Ali, makes sure that all the communication and things that need to go back and forth are getting done. But I'm using UFC resources, and I'm a professional. I said if I go out to the UCPI and they tell me it can't be done, and physically you're not a flyweight, then I would have listened to it. I'd have gone up. But I went out there, I got assessed. I passed some tests, and with some dedication and some discipline, I can make 125 no problem. So if I'm confident, they're confident, and vice versa. So I think we're good to go there.
Yeah, because the flyweight division needs you. I'm not saying that they got to have you. The flyweight division needs you. Because, yeah, I mean, I agree with that, Sarge, because, number one, you're confident. You're not afraid of anybody. You go in there, but you fight, though. You fight with a type of passion. It's just like, man, because you were going in there, and you were just like provisional underdog, and then you just came in and Kimura. And then you came into the second fight, head kick. And then you came in and then you roughed up Roxanne. You roughed up bad. And you came out with a unanimous decision. And if it would have been 5 rounds, you probably might even have finished her, But good grief. I mean, you doing all this stuff. And now, you got more people coming into the division. Like, so what do you think about the possibility of Valentina Shevchenko actually fighting Nico for a title shot?
I think, that's up to the UFC and the bosses. It sounds like that's what they're lining up. And that looks like that's the trajectory right now. If that fight is made official, then I'll put in my 2 cents. But right now, that's kind of what they're saying, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay. So if the fight were to go down, how do you think Nico matches up with Valentina?
I hate to say it, I think Valentina takes that one. I think Nico's a really tough fighter. She is another person in the tough house who was a low seed. I think she was ranked lower than I was.
14.
Yeah, so and she beat a lot of tough girls on her path to the title as well. But the way Valentina made her flyweight debut was pretty violent, and I just think skill wise, I think Valentina's a little sharper than Nico. But we'll see. I think Nico's got a ton of heart. And she's very hard to put away. I think she's going to be a hard girl to finish. And her cardio's really, really good. So I think it'll be a fun fight. But I don't think Nico has what Valentina has as far as all-around martial arts.
Wow. And what's different now? What is now with Sijara Eubanks? When she gets her title shot, and it could be against Nico, it could be against Valentina. But let's just say if it's against Valentina. Man, what kind of fight is that going to be?
Oh, that's going to be fun. I think me versus Valentina's a fun fight. I think that's a fight that's going to be one of them fight of the year candidates. I think me and Valentina are going to go toe-to-toe. And I've always wanted one of those kind of fights in my career, a real toe-to-toe. I've gone the distance with 2 fights, but I mean, a real kind of brawl, I think would be fun. I think Valentina's a girl that I could have that with.
Wow. Sarge, look, everything you're saying, it's almost like I'm getting a lesson on just, like what heart is, because you know what? Yeah, nobody should take you lightly in that division, and it's a few of y'all. I call you and Nico outliers because you guys were not expected, y'all seeded low, so they expected you to kind of just be a low seed. You guys came out on top, and I think you two can compete against anybody in that division that's there now,
Yeah.
Even people like Alexis Davis, people like Liz Carmouche, I think y'all can compete with those guys too, so it just kind of boils down. But you know what? I've seen you at your best and at your worst, you still come in like you just come in there like, hey, you know what? Look, we ain't being friends. I'm just finna come in there and I'm finna beat you down. That's what's finna happen. And,
yeah. It's it's like how it's going to work.
But you got ultra aggressive, and my most favorite fight that I saw you fight it wasn't even a head kick, it wasn't a Kimura, it was against Roxanne, because I actually saw you take a good opponent, and then you actually broke her down, and then you started pretty much imposing your will. Like, did you guys have a game plan for that?
Well, in the tough house, it's hard to game plan for anyone in specific because it's such a short amount of time and you have to fight so many different people. Mm-hmm. So, going into the Roxanne fight, I just wanted to be my best self. So, I mean, I did. Like, I knew she was okay on the ground. I knew she was probably gonna have some good jiu-jitsu defense, a little bit offense in there. Her striking I knew was unorthodox. And so me, Eddie, and Mark Henry, and the rest of the assistant coaches just had like sort of targets we wanted to hit as far as what the goals were in the fight, just as far as keeping my hands up and being fast and listening to coach. That we knew no matter what Roxanne brought to the table, as long as I did what I was supposed to do, we would win the fight pretty decisively. And that's exactly how it went down.
Wow, yeah. I mean, it was a perfect game plan. You executed it perfectly. Okay. Well, Sarge, I want to ask you about a couple more questions, and then I know you got the little one, boy, and she's keeping you rolling. She's keeping you busy. But nah, that's good. I'm glad you're a good mom too, because a lot of people don't pay no kids no attention, but you are. So, good fighter, good mom. Hey,
thank you.
So, if there was a Sijara Eubanks whoop they behind list, top 3, but you got to give me 3. The Sijara Eubanks whoop they behind top 3 list. Somebody that 3 people in the division right now that if you could just have them on a platter, who would that be?
I kind of, them who would I fight questions, like whoever's going to give me a title shot. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't like picking and choosing, just whoever's the path to the belt,
Yeah.
So, and then once I get the belt, we figure it out from there, and, but that's all I want.
Wow.
Is to get that title shot.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed too, Sarge, I noticed that you're overly focused, and even throughout the show, I noticed that the only person that I actually saw you kind of warm up to, like really, you were nice and cordial to everybody, but you and Shayna, you guys really, you guys warmed up to each other because, and you two wasn't in a bunch of the foolishness, a lot of the drama. I noticed that you didn't get in a whole lot of that. You were just there to fight.
Yeah, precisely. I don't know what else there is to do when you get that type of opportunity. I think that's why Nico did so well, because she did the same thing. You in the house, and it's 15 other girls, none of y'all know each other. You get to train twice a day. You get to not really have to worry about shopping or eating or bills or anything. You train as hard as you can and as smart as you can, and you win the fights when you're scheduled. You make the weight. So I thought it was great. I had a blast doing it, and yeah, I mean,
wow.
I didn't get caught up in that kind of stuff. Me and Shauna didn't get caught up in that kind of stuff because it didn't make no sense to. Like, it's another goal.
Yeah. Hey, what's ours? Could you tell people, for the people that's watching, what do they got to do, Sarge, to do what you do? Like, just kind of just give us a short version.
I mean, it takes a lot of passion and a lot of hard work and a lot of faith. And that's just not necessarily specifically what I've done, but just to do anything in life that you care about. You gotta want to have the desire to do it. You gotta be able to back it up with a lot of hard work, and you gotta stick to the grind. If anybody should know, I've had a lot of ups and downs in my career. I was this close to the opportunity in my life, and got sent to the hospital. So it's ups and downs, man. But you stay on the grind, you stay working hard, and you can do good at whatever you do.
Amen. God, well, Sarge, I'm definitely proud of you. I mean, I know you got a lot of people around you that are proud of you. That that's definitely proud of what you're doing. And Sarge, you got a bright future. And I know, and I know you're into your 30s, but you really hadn't even hit your prime yet. Because I mean, you really. How long have you actually been fighting?
I made my pro debut in 2015. I started doing jiu-jitsu in 2008. So I just round that to 10 years, yeah. So
you're not even in your prime yet, Sarge?
Yeah, this is right when it gets good, the 10-year mark. Yeah, I'm rocking and rolling. It's about to be, I agree with you. I think I've been growing. I mean, there's always growth to be made as a fighter, but I definitely think I'm hitting my stride right now.
Wow. Well, that's incredible. Well, Sarge, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we just kind of conclude and wrap it up? Because I know you have to dent 10 to the little one over there.
Yeah. Usually, shout out to my partner. She's not here tonight, but she's definitely always helping me out. And she's usually the one that's tending to the baby in the back of the interview, really helping me out as we grow. And for all my Maryland listeners, I've been doing this one for a little while. For all my Maryland listeners, my uncle is Rashawn Baker, and he's running for governor. Actually, my cousin's here now, his daughter. So,
Sharon Baker.
Rashawn Baker. So if you're a Maryland resident and you're in the politics, follow Rashawn Baker. And if you're a registered Democrat, don't forget to vote in the primaries. Voting is important, people. And that's my little soapbox. Make sure you pay attention to local politics. And if you're in Maryland, check out Rashawn Baker. He's doing good things down there.
Okay, Rashawn Baker. And his information will be up on the screen, so when they click the video, they'll see that. I just had to make sure I got his name correct. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Sarge.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on. And Sarge, last question, can you give a drop for me? Can you say this is Sijara Eubanks and you're listening to Coach Shelton Harrison?
Sijara Eubanks and you're listening to Shelton Harrison. Let me get another one. It's Sijara Eubanks. What you want? That one. I'm gonna drop you a clean one. I'm gonna give you a clean one at the end.
Okay.
Sijara Eubanks.
Wait a minute.
What you want me to say? Yeah, tell me again.
Oh, okay. Say, hey, this is Sijara Eubanks and you're listening to Coach Shelton Harrison.
Hey, this is Sijara Eubanks and you're listening to Coach Sheldon Harrison.
Amen. Beautiful. Gracious.